stupid! Unite! Unite! Unite against fascism!
Unite! Unite! Unite against fascism!
Unite! Unite! Unite against fascism!
Unite! Unite! Unite against fascism! Unite! Unite against fascism!
We are HVP! HVP is us!
We are HVP! HVP is us!
We are HVP! HVP is us!
We are HVP!
Who's killing women? Who's killing women? Who's killing children? Who's killing women? Who's the murderer? Who's the thief? Who's the murderer? Who's the thief? Down, down, down! Down with Turkey state!
Turkish state! Fascist state! Turkish state! Fascist state! Turkish state! Fascist state! Turkish state! Break up London! Break up London! Stop the fascism! Stop the fascism! Stop supporting Turkish state! Stop supporting Turkish state! Terrorist! Turkish state! Terrorist! Turkish state! Terrorist! Turkish state! Terrorist!
Can you hear me? I bring solidarity from the Green Party of England and Wales, solidarity from the European Green Party, and we Greens can say we are HDP because the Green Party in Turkey is part of the HDP, part of that coalition of MPs that have been so important for bringing progressive change in Turkey. And we as Greens know that Turkey is degenerating into an autocratic state, a fascist state, that MPs are being held in solitary confinement, that thousands of people have been sacked from their jobs, that the press is being suppressed, and that in Britain people are largely silent. In the UK, the British government always criticises the Kurds, always defends the Turkish government, and the hypocritical British government arms the worst dictatorships in the Middle East. And as Turkey becomes more dictatorial, Theresa May will simply see it as an arms export opportunity. It shames me, the policies of the British government. I bring the solidarity of the Greens, and I recognise particularly the contribution of the Kurdish people in fighting ISIS, in creating a progressive alternative in a world where we have autocracies, hatred, nationalism, racism. The Kurdish model of democratic confederalism is a model that we can all learn from. So I'm here to give solidarity from the Greens. I applaud what you do. Let's all fight for democracy in Turkey. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Day Wall. Next up we have Melanie Jingle. She's a barrister. She organises with Peace in Kurdistan, and she went on the last emergency delegation to Diyarbakir in support of HDP politicians who are now in prison.
Hello, thank you very much. I went to Diyarbakir 3 weeks ago with Julie Ward, MEP, and what? Okay, hello. Can you hear me? I was in Diyarbakir 3 weeks ago with Julie Ward, MEP, and I'm going to read out a letter from her because she can't be here today. She says that yesterday marked International Day for Human Rights, a day when we should be celebrating the progress of 21st century civilized society to uphold fundamental values around the world. Yet more and more we're having to make our voices heard because authoritarian regimes are cracking down on civil society and opposition voices. The current worst offender must surely be Turkey, whose descent into a fascist state under President Erdogan's leadership is shocking in its brutality hostility towards certain sections of society, particularly in the Kurdish region. Julie visited Diyarbakir twice in 3 weeks, once with a European anti-fascist organisation to raise awareness of genocide and prevent mass atrocities, and the second time with Peace in Kurdistan. She says now is not the time for playing games or doing deals over refugees. The Turkey-EU deal using dispossessed human beings as bargaining chips is a shameful travesty. I am glad that the European Parliament, where I work, recently voted to freeze the Turkey-EU accession process. But we need to do so much more to bring the country back into the fold of democracy. We must demand the immediate release of the imprisoned journalists, academics, judges, teachers, trade unionists, artists, activists and politicians arrested for daring to criticise the regime. I have a personal relationship, she says, with Leyla Berlik, the HDP MP for Sırnak, who was arrested on November the 4th and is now in prison near Istanbul. She was prevented from visiting Leyla in Silivri prison in November, but she is not prevented from raising her voice to say her name over and over again, Leyla Berlik. And that is what we all must do, raise our voices loud and clear at every opportunity, so the Turkish authorities and our own government understand that the world is watching and that democracy must return to Turkey with the release and the full reinstatement of all those who are held under trumped-up charges under the pretense of anti-terrorism. The only terror merchant in present-day Turkey is President Erdogan. He is the true enemy of the people, as his actions clearly show. So friends, show your support for those who oppose state-sponsored terrorism and violence, and for those who seek to expose it. Stand with the HDP and support their inclusive, peaceful, democratic values. Solidarity with the HDP, peace in Kurdistan.
Our next speaker is Joe Ryan, the chair of the Westminster Justice and Peace Commission and a member of the recent Imrana delegation. Thank you, Joe Ryan.
Thank you. It's good to be here again to speak on behalf and to show solidarity with the Kurdish people, with you, the Kurdish nation. I would like to indicate at this point that I would want to unconditionally condemn the killings in Istanbul last evening. Violence is going to get us nowhere, and certainly from our own leader, Abdullah Öcalan, certainly from his prison cell, he wants peace to continue. I had the privilege, as indicated, to be on a delegation earlier this year where we tried to visit Abdullah Öcalan in Imrali Island. Of course, we knew that it wasn't going to happen, but we wanted to show solidarity. I was also privileged to be in Diyarbakir a number of years ago at the trial of the 151 prisoners, mainly politicians, human rights workers, and so on. Again, giving solidarity to what is happening to the Kurdish people. I would also want to keep in mind that here we are today to continue that demonstration, because it gets a little bit tiresome hearing the same old story and nothing being done. There are, as you know, thousands of prisoners languishing in prisons in Turkey. I would want to show that we must keep remembering them, and we mustn't forget. One of the things that I found in my last visit to Istanbul was, having met some of the prisoners whom I had met already in Diyarbakir, the one thing that they were afraid of, one thing that they highlighted when they had been released, when they were in prison, it wasn't so much being a prisoner, but the question of being forgotten. And we mustn't forget those who are languishing in prison, whether it's in Turkey or other places, where they are fighting for human rights, and I am here to show solidarity with them. as keeping in mind also that whole process must continue. It must be a drip demonstration, a drip solidarity with those who are seeking justice. Because when we presented, I was again part of the delegation presenting the 10.3 million signatures in Strasbourg, having been already in Brussels at the launch of that campaign. Nothing has been done, even though 10.5 million people have signed in order that Abdullah Öcalan would be released from prison. We are still waiting. Here in this very square, we have people like Nelson Mandela, who peacefully waited for 28 years. Abdullah Öcalan has been in prison from 1999, and we still wait, and we hope, and I would demand that the Turkish government would release the political prisoners, including Abdullah Öcalan, and I am here to show solidarity in that process. I would just want to continue that solidarity to show the support for human rights, and anywhere that human rights are denied, then I want to be there as a voice. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Sheila Mosley, I'm from Leicester. We have the Leicester Kurdish Solidarity Campaign, and I want to talk about what's happening in Rojava in Syria, and I want to talk to the British government about their position on what's happening. They're ignoring the Kurds. The Kurds have done really well. They've managed to keep an area that's involved a lot of people who've moved into the area because of what's happened in the rest of Syria. They've got Kurdish schools, they've got a community, and it's a stable society, as stable as you can be when you're being bombed by the government and all the other people around there. But the British government has not talked with the Kurds on an equal footing. They haven't recognised the contribution that they have to combating the forces that are going on there. They're the one force that have actually managed to do something about ISIS. And I know that Turkey is behind ISIS. Our government cannot get away with saying, well, Turkey is our ally. We need to stand up to Turkey and to say, you need to stop this. We need democracy in that area. We need to listen to what's going on, and we need to put our foot down where Turkey's concerned.
I just want to start first and foremost by thanking the organisers for making this demonstration happen. It's a massive inspiration for me personally to have come on this demonstration with you all and to protest against the Turkish state's insistence on pursuing their agenda of repression. My name's Adam, as we said, and I'm the Black Students Officer for the National Union of Students, and here to sort of convey a message of solidarity. Our National President was supposed to be here with you all today, but unfortunately, due to poor health, she's unable to be with us today. Nonetheless, I'm very glad to be with you, not just on her behalf, but also to convey a message of solidarity from the NUS Black Students campaign. And this is because for me, the Kurdish struggle, for liberation, represents the empowerment of youth, the empowerment of women, and really a genuine democracy that we're seeing facing a great threat in the form of the Turkish state's insistence on pursuing this agenda that they have of repression. And what people have done today by coming out in solidarity with not just the MPs, but what preceded that as well was the repression of academics, of journalists, of students, of young people, of women coming out to protest against the Turkish state's tendency towards fascism, if you will. And what that really symbolises for us as a student organisation in particular, more than anything else, is that this is something that needs to be challenged, as was said by Martin Luther King of the past. He said that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, and we know that. And we know that this is the case. We know that this is the case when we allow for fascism to take hold in one part of the world, that this is something that can spread across, and indeed we're seeing it across Europe today as well. So this shouldn't be separated from the international context of fascism on the rise. This shouldn't be separated from the trend across the world, indeed, of democracy being eroded and civil liberties being taken away, of people struggling for genuine freedoms for all and trying to empower those most marginalized in society, including women and young people. These are the ones that we need to be standing up in solidarity with, and that is why I'm here with you today. So thank you very much for putting this on, and I'll see you on next time.